Welcome to the Strong Feels Good podcast. My name is Angela Gargano, 4-time American Ninja Warrior and 3-time cover girl. And in this podcast, we're going to be going over everything mindset. Because if you don't deal with the shit going on in your head, you're not going to be able to grow in so many other aspects of your life. So we're going to be going over actionable steps in order to get to that next level, go through experiences, have great guests on here, and talk about so much more. Welcome. Up team, and welcome to yet another episode of Strong Feels Good. And today we're going to talk about creating your daily routine. Now, I used to call this the morning routine, but I kind of got out of saying that because I got really stressed out sometimes when I couldn't actually do this in the morning. When life just, sometimes I teach classes really early, or sometimes I just can't get up like that extra hour earlier in order to do it. So I called it a daily routine because I just have it on a list saying that I'm going to get it done at some point in the day. Ultimately, I would like to get it done in the morning, but if it doesn't get done then, no big deal. Now, everybody's daily routine might be a little bit different, but I'm going to share with you mine, and you can develop yours in any way that you see fit. But what's really important about these routines is this is the time for yourself. Okay. These are non-negotiable things that you should be doing for yourself, because a lot of times everything else in your life comes first when you should come first, right? So as long as you make sure that you have these seconds to yourself, this is going to help create a better life, more focus. It's going to help you be better to the people around you. So it's definitely very important. So let's get into my daily routine and what I do. So I want to say that the first thing I do is make my bed, but it's technically not. Okay. The first thing I actually do is I turn to the side of my bed, which is over there. And I have a journal and I have 2 books. Right now I'm reading 2 books. Sometimes it's just 1 book or whatever. So the first thing I do is I grab my journal. Now, why I journal first is because a lot of times I wake up with a lot of thoughts in my head. I really do. So this is a great time for me to sit down and write down anything and anything that I'm feeling, get it out on paper before I go do the other tasks that I have, right? So let's talk a little bit about the journaling practice. In the next episode, I'm actually going to be going over exactly how I journal, which everyone's asked me so many times. So we'll go over literally step by step exactly how I do it. First thing I do is I just write out anything I'm feeling, how the day is going, whatever it is. I write it all out. And sometimes it's 1 line, sometimes it's 2 lines, sometimes it's 3 pages, whatever that is, just something. Next thing I do is the Ctfar method, which again, I will go over in the next episode. That is how you shift negative thoughts to positive thoughts. Because let's be real here. We all got them. We all got those negative thoughts. Even the most positive person in the world is going to have some thoughts that come into their head that seem pretty ridiculous. And you don't really realize they seem really ridiculous until you write them down. So shifting the negative thoughts to the positive thoughts. So that's the second piece that I do. Next thing I do is I write out my stresses. What the heck am I stressed about? And it's so interesting. It's always the same couple things. I normally just write out 3 things, but again, make this your own practice. Maybe it's 1 thing you write down. Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5, whatever it is for you, right? Next step is I write my gratitude. What am I grateful for? Because again, just like the shifting negative to positive thoughts, this is going to shift those stresses into gratitude. And what do you have? Because so many times we focus on what we don't have and what we're lacking. But what about the things we do have? What about the good things in life that tend to get kind of overseen because we're so stressed about the stuff we don't have? So great gratitude. 3 things. I always try and make sure that I not only make the gratitude be about other people, like sometimes I'll be like grateful for my mom or grateful for this, but also about myself as well. Like I'm grateful that I have the energy to work out. I'm grateful that I was able to sleep. Like make it also about you too, and not just about things or other people. Next step in my journaling process is I write out affirmations, loud and clear. So different affirmations, and I'll just say the ones that I write all the time. I write, I'm going to make it big. I'm not exactly sure what that means yet. I'm not sure what big means, but I know I want to make it big. I want the world to see me, and I don't know what exactly it is, but I want it out in the universe. So I write it down. I also write, I am enough, because there's so many times in my life where I feel like I'm not enough, and I'm getting stuck in this comparison trap and looking at everybody else instead of being like, no, I'm enough. Who I am is enough. And that's important. So I write that out. Or if you're trying to manifest money, I'm a money making machine, right? Money flows easily to me. I'm a money magnet. So writing out all these different affirmations is a great way to put them out into the universe, to let them be clear, loud and clear. They may not all happen right away. You may not believe them. That's a big thing, right? You may not believe the affirmations. And that's okay. The idea is to write them over and over again until one day you will believe it. One day you are going to sit down and be like, wow, I am enough. Or one day you're going to look at it, wow, I did make it big, and whatever that means for you, right? So I feel like that's really important. So that's the first part of my daily routine. I journal, I sit down and do that. After I journal, I normally go right into reading. So I used to get really stressed out about trying to read an entire book. I am personally a slow reader. I've always been a slow reader. I was in speech classes when I was a kid, and I also had to take special reading classes because I was very slow with it. And I get stressed out because I hear so many people like just skimming, like crushing through books. And I'm like, that's not me. That's not the person I am. So I stopped stressing about reading an entire book, and I just read a couple pages of whatever that book is. Again, I like the one book that I'm reading with Jody right now. It's it's just one, I read one fact. It's like one fact, one story like per day. So it's like really easy. So I read that. And then I'll also go into reading the next, whatever book I'm reading, a couple pages of it. I know it's going to take a long time. That's okay. I absorb it. I want to really, really learn about it. I underline things. I do all that stuff. Back in the day too, I used to read the Daily Stoic. If that's something that you're looking to do, definitely grab it. The Daily Stoic just has different stories in there, kind of just like what I'm doing with Jody's book right now, and different affirmations for each day to remember. And sometimes like really like books like that, there's going to be days where you really resonate with whatever it said. And that's the important part about it. Or you learn something, or it keeps you a nice little reminder of something. So I really enjoy that. So after I am done with my reading, I get up and I do make my bed. My bed is always made first thing in the morning. And so many people argue with me with this whole situation with making your bed, because it's like, especially if like no one's coming over and no one's going to see you and all this stuff like that, it is so important to make your bed. That's the first task, one of the first tasks that you're doing throughout your day that is now accomplished. So it's going to make you feel accomplished, right? Also, having a sense of a good environment, a clean environment, your bed made, the clothes off the floor, stuff like that, that is important. Okay. If your room is a mess, if your environment's a mess, normally you're a bit of a mess, like in your mind, like all over the place. Not like saying that in an insulting way, but it's normally what happens, right? It gets you kind of scattered. So I'm not saying you have to be the cleanest person in the world, whatever, but make the bed, do those little things that are going to help to improve your life in other aspects. It's not just about making the bed. It's so much more than that. There's actually a book called Make Your Bed. I would definitely recommend that you read it. He goes through everything. It's actually a speech he did at a college, and it's just absolutely amazing. So listen to it. It's going to change your idea about why, because I was always against the whole making your bed thing, but make your damn bed, make it, put it on, but just put it, even if it's a little piece of making your bed, just do it. Then this is going to sound super silly, but I'm just going to be completely transparent with you guys. I have this eucalyptus spray. And after I make my bed, I spray my entire room with it. I make sure the room is like kind of cleaned up. My blankets are folded. Everything's off the floor. And I don't know what it is about spraying that in the room, but I know you would think about spraying that towards when you go to sleep. But for me, I'm like, I don't know. It's something about having the room again put together and clean and smelling good and just a great start to your day. So next thing after that is I actually go and I drink 2 glasses of water. Now, personally, for me, water is very tough for me to get in. Being in Colorado, where I am personally right now, it is really tough to stay hydrated. So what's one thing I know that if I drink water now, it's going to help me stay hydrated, but I just don't drink a lot of it throughout the day. And water is going to help you a ton. It's going to help you with your brain. It's going to help you with your energy, all those things. So 2 glasses of water. And if a big, tall glass of water intimidates you and is scary, just start with 2 glasses of small water and just sit there and drink it too. Okay. Then lately, I've actually been drinking another glass of green juice. I've been doing that because I know that I feel like I need to get more vitamins and vegetables in. So I've just been taking green juice and drinking that. I'm not sure if that does anything, but for me, it's just something that I've just been doing. And then I had that done. The other 2 things, right? So that's a lot of the times the morning routine, which again, may not happen in the morning. Last night it happened at night. No big deal. It's fine. But I did that for me, right? That's all stuff for me, not for anybody else, not for my clients, not for my parents, not for my friends. That is for me. And it's super important that I get that done. So I check all that off. 2 other things that I am calling non-negotiables that I want to make sure that I done getting some movement in. Movement. It does not have to be a 2-hour exercise routine. It doesn't have to be an hour exercise. It can be a half hour. It could be just going for a walk outside, making sure that I'm moving my body. Because believe it or not, as a trainer, you think that all we do is train all day. A lot of times, sometimes it's the last thing I want to do, because since I am doing that all day, since I'm writing programs and I'm helping people all day with that, it's weird, because I feel like sometimes it's, for trainers, it becomes like, since it's also work and also the thing you enjoy, it can be tough sometimes to get yourself to do it because you're just doing it all the time. So I force myself to do that, get some movement in. And then the next one is getting outside. Even if it's cold out, just going outside for a second, getting some sunlight on my skin. If you can go out barefoot, that's great. Get some grounding in and stuff like that. But all that stuff is really, really important. So this is just a piece of what my daily routine is, what I have that I try and do every single day. Again, it doesn't always happen like that. Some days I have to skip it. It's okay. But then I try and get back on it the next day. I do notice that by being consistent with these, that I am taking more, like, better care of myself. And I totally missed one. What's wrong, Angela? Why'd you do that? After I actually do all the journaling and the reading, before I make my bed, I actually meditate. Sorry, let's get into that. I meditate using Headspace, and I do that every single day, no matter what. Headspace is a great app. I'm not sponsored. This is literally just something I use. You can put it on for different varieties of time. So for me, I'll put on for 10 minutes, sometimes 20 to 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. It just depends on the time that I have. But that's just a time to really center yourself. And meditation in the morning has been shown to boost your energy. So if you're feeling like coffee boosts your energy, well, meditation also does that. So meditating, and there's a whole process behind that, which we'll do a podcast episode on as well. But anyways, yes, these daily routines are really important. You need to make sure that you take care of you. Okay. And I know sometimes it's hard to do this in the morning. Sometimes it's tough because life is life, right? Life is life. But definitely making sure that you are taking the time out for yourself is very, very important, because you matter. Don't forget that. You really do matter in this entire journey of life. I know everything else seems like it matters so much more than you, but without you, you can't help anybody else. It's that saying with the airplane that you hear over and over again, probably, which is, you got to put the mask on you first before you put the mask on somebody else, right? So you got to take care of you. So I hope this was helpful with the daily routine. And let me know what your daily routine is. Maybe your daily routine looks a little different. Maybe you only tried 2 of the things that I gave you, and you get really consistent and comfortable with that. And it becomes a second nature, and it becomes just a habit that you have. But getting really good at this is going to help you in other aspects of life, because at the end of the day, consistency is what wins of all. It really is consistent. Are you consistent with your routine? Are you consistent with your workout? Everything is about consistency. You want to get somewhere, you got to be consistent. So start with you and start with your daily routine. So anyways, I hope this podcast was helpful for you. I'm actually creating a worksheet for you that you can use. So you can download it, grab the worksheet and write out what this, I'm just going to give you my daily routine, but you can write out your own daily routine, print them out, use them. But hope you enjoyed this episode of Strong Feels Good. If you have any topics that you want me to cover, feel free to message me, and we will make them. And I hope you crush your morning routines, daily routines now.